Hello, Witty Bean. So, I hope that my crazy idea of a birthday present, despite it being late, is still going to be enjoyable for you. And so, welcome to your first lesson from Cici, your big sister, on how to do your makeup. Or at least the eyeshadow part. But this first one's gonna be super duper basic. That way you can like start practicing but like still go out and be like wearing eyeshadow. First thing that you want to know is if you're going to be doing your eyeshadow, you need to have some sort of base on. If you're just doing a basic eyeshadow look, especially at your age where you have like really nice skin and not any of these acne scars and weird blemishes and stuff where you have like teenager skin, then what I personally would recommend is, hang on a second, let me find it. This is just me making a video. It's not like it's supposed to be professional, so like you're gonna have to deal with it. But yes, there it is. So what I'd recommend doing is just getting like a tinted moisturizer or BB cream. This is the one I have. I got it at like CVS or something. So just do this and some concealer for any acne you have. Because it's not super full coverage, it's still going to moisturize your skin. And unlike foundation, then it's not going to clog your pores as much. So it's not going to cause breakouts. Foundation is going to give you fuller coverage, so it's going to cover up a lot of these big pores I have on my nose that'll show up even on my phone camera, and some of these acne scars and stuff. So a foundation will cover all of that up because it's more full coverage, but it's also going to clog all those giant pores and cause breakouts. So especially as a teenager when you're most acne prone, I would recommend just sticking to this and some concealer. However, the base I'm going to be doing today is going to be my foundation because I want to look nice on this camera. Granted, I'm going to take it off right after, but like, I like my foundation. Tinted moisturizer is only going to be like $8 at CVS, even cheaper than that, so you can probably ask Mom to get that for you. I doubt she'll say anything. If not, I'm sure you have savings. I think you can afford $8. Even I can afford $8. Actually, I just realized that my foundation is still in my bag from when I went to Christmas, so, you know, I'm just gonna do the same as you. Just a little bit of tinted moisturizer. I think this is actually darker than I currently am. I got this in like the summer when I was like 19 and actually like went out and did things, aka when I was a lot tanner than now. So yeah, you can see that it's a little dark for my skin tone, but for the purpose of this video, it's not the end of the world. Plus, it definitely lightens as it spreads out. That's the good thing about a BB cream or tinted foundation, or tinted moisturizer, sorry, is because it is so much less full coverage, so much not as heavy, then it will blend into your skin more. You still want to get the right shade. Don't be grabbing the darkest shade on the shelf. That'll look bad. But if it's not exactly the right shade, it's going to blend into your skin some. So it'll still look pretty natural. And so the difference is subtle, but it evens out some of that blotchy redness that we all have because we're human and we have blood in our faces. But you can especially see it on my forehead where it just eliminated a lot of that redness and made everything a lot more even. However, as you can see, I still got a few spots here, so what you're going to want for that is just a basic concealer. I'm sure you already have some. If not, again, you can get one for like $3 at like CVS. I actually got mine on Wish for like $1, and it's a surprisingly full coverage concealer. I prefer a full coverage concealer because it'll hide some of those like more stubborn spots. Like if I picked at a pimple and it caused a scab, a weak foundation's not really going to cover that, but if you get like a full coverage ones, like the concealers that they advertise for covering up tattoos, that'll cover a scab. But that's personal preference, in my opinion. That's in my other bag. I'll be right back. Guess who's back? Back again. I don't know why I'm doing that voice. But yeah, just a little bit of concealer on those spots. Blend it in. Down there. Just anywhere that there's kind of some obvious spots, put it on there. You'll notice that mine aren't completely fading away, but that is because they are darker spots and I'm wearing a tinted moisturizer, not a full coverage foundation. But again, I feel like it kind of just gives some natural character. You don't need to be wearing a full coverage foundation in high school. However, since I had to grab my bag, if you do decide you want a foundation, I really like this one from Mary Kay. Even though it says time-wise and is like their whole thing is to reduce the effects of aging, I clearly do not have a single wrinkle on my face. And it's still a very nice foundation that looks really good. I got the luminous one just because I like more of a dewy look than a matte look. But if you have a more textured skin, then like it'll show some of that texture if you do a luminous foundation. Either way, that's a whole nother thing. Just get a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer. Save this for like prom. And even then you can probably just borrow mom's. You guys are fairly similar in skin tone. Like, don't stress. Then what I like to do, throw on a little chapstick that way it'll soak into your lips while you're doing your makeup. And now it's time for the makeup part. So what you're gonna do is I sent you 2 brushes, but they're double-ended. And so they're not exactly the same as what I have because I already had brushes and so I didn't feel like getting new ones. This is my go-to brush. So I know for a fact that one of your brushes is going to have this sort of rounded tip here. It looks a little more angular in the video, but that's just because I've used it a lot. Just this rounded tip, that's going to be your basic go-to brush. So that is the one that you're going to use the most, is this end. And then I kind of forgot where I was going with that sentence, but anyways. So I got myself the palette. That way your palette exactly matches what I'm doing. We can have the exact same colors. You know it is going to look exactly the same on like both our faces, so you can get a really good feel for your skill level and stuff, and just, I really want to help you out. Big sister love. Gotta set this down to like complete the heart. Okay, I'm weird. But, so you'll notice in your box that it comes with this little thing. This just tells you the best way to use the different colors. And so you'll notice that with some of the shimmery, glitterier ones, then it'll have a finger next to it. That's just because you can tap it on to make that glitter stay glittery rather than blend into the rest of your stuff. Everything can be used with a brush though, so that's fine, but we're going to be starting with just basic, something you can wear to school. I know this palette looks a little intimidating because it's got straight up bright yellow in it, and that's not exactly the natural neutrals that you're gonna want to wear to school. I mean, you can, why not? Just, I recommend a little more skill before diving into bright yellow, I'm just saying. Even I don't feel confident with a bright yellow. But the first thing I'm going to show you is how to do blending. There is nothing more important in your eyeshadow than making sure it blends. You'll notice some people who don't blend, and you'll pick up on it more after I show you this, and it just looks weird. It doesn't flow, it doesn't create a smooth eye look. And so blending is going to be the most essential, most basic skill you're ever going to need in doing eyeshadow. And luckily, the first look I'm going to teach you is literally what I wear every day. It's literally just 2 tones, you blend them together. It looks really nice, gives you guys some dimension, and you can try it with literally any colors you want and it'll look fantastic. So, like I said, you can do it with any colors you want. However, if you want to follow along with me, then I think I'm going to start with Roxy Catan, which is that kind of rose gold shade, just because I like a bit of a shimmer. And so just take your brush, dive in, and like swirl around. Oh my gosh. This is such a nice palette. Like, it's so buttery. There's absolutely no fallout. Literally everything I own is worse than this. I'm so glad I had this idea to get you this palette so that I could have an excuse to get it for myself. So obviously with the glittery ones, it's going to take a little bit more effort to get it on your brush. But then what you're gonna want to do with this first shade, I'm not going to be looking at the camera or my viewfinder as much. I'm going to be looking at the mirror, which is directly below it. So sorry if it looks weird, but it'll probably actually give you a better view of the eyeshadow. But what you're going to want to do is close your eye. If you can wink and still have your full eyelid available, then do that. That's probably better. If you can like look down and do your makeup like that, then that works. What I usually do is I kind of just grab the eyelash and hold it down. So you're going to want to start in this inner corner, right in the crease where that dark spot where your eyelid folds is, and literally just drag it across the shape of your eyelid. And oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful color. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. You're going to want to fill your eyelid with it. So I'm going to get a little bit more. Always start in that inner corner because that's where your first color is going to stay. I started in the middle just because I saw a little bit of patchiness, but do as I say, not as I do. As you get a feel for it, you'll get a better idea. And I just want to say, I'm not like a professional makeup artist, obviously. This is just Cici's basics. This is what I have learned from YouTube and Young Women's Leaders and other young women and like weirdness. So I honestly gotta thank Sister Ketchison because she gave me my first makeup lesson. Hers was in person rather than over video like this. But she's the one who taught me how to blend. I'm putting just a tiny bit on that bottom line so you can get a little bit of sparkle right in that corner. But you don't have to do that, and it can be kind of hard because you're going to want to go like crazy, like all over the bottom. Not all over the bottom, just a tiny bit. If the color extends beyond your lower eyelash, you've gone too far. So play with that if you want, but honestly, just covering the eyelid, perfect. Perfect for this stage. So then, if you can't tell, I really like glittery shades, so I think I'm going to go in with Aurora. It's kind of that coppery tone, and I think it'll go well with the Roxy Catan. And so, get a little of that on your brush. Still using the rounded one thus far. And then, this one, pay attention, you're going to want to start in the outer corner and bring it in to the middle, and then you backtrack, and then go along the bottom. And then you kind of just repeat that motion. Do not go all the way to the inner corner. Go max 2/3. Max 2/3. And then you want to start with sort of a windshield wiper motion, like dirt, 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 dirt. But then once the color's all on there, kind of go in circles along some of the harder edges, like this. Do some a little along the outside, just gentle circles. Don't stab yourself in the eye, but do put enough pressure that it'll actually move around for you. And this is just so buttery and beautiful. I love it. And then open your eye and kind of just do those circular motions just around the edge. That way you get a little popping out over your eyelid. You don't want to go all the way up to the eyebrow. You don't want to go all the way up to the brow bone. Just a tiny bit. That way, when your eyes are open, you can still see there's color on them. Now, on the other eye, I'm going to show you what it would look like not blended. And to do that, I'm going to do some more dramatic colors. That way, like this, you could probably wear to school. This, you could probably wear to church. This, you could probably wear to just about anything. On this eye, I'm going to do some more dramatic colors so you can really see the impact that blending has. And so, what are some dramatic colors that I would never want to use? Let's do Mama Tutorials. That bright, glittery turquoise blue. I would never wear this anywhere. And just like I did before, I'm gonna... Ooh, that's such a pretty color though. Maybe I will wear this somewhere. I can't think of where, but... Oh my gosh, that's just such a pretty color. This is a color that would require some work and some skill that I clearly do not have. Oh look, Cam is walking. Ah, he's not in the background, he's just in my peripheral. He's not on camera. Okay, there we go. So, oh jeez, that gets everywhere. At least if you're not good like me. And by that I mean I'm not good like me. And then for that one, I'm gonna wipe this off. And then to really show the impact of blending, obviously this is something I would never wear out, but let's go with Mikai, that bright red. And then still do that windshield wiper. Just coat that color on. This is how it looks not blended. It looks like trash. You can see, even with my eyes closed, there is a very distinct line right there where one color stops and the other begins. However, if I just go in and do a little circle motions here and there, blend it out here, blend it out here in the middle. I think this red is very pigmented, so I would honestly want to go back in. You know, I am going to go back in with a little bit more Mama Tutorials. Oh my gosh. As you can tell, I'm not used to using something this pigmented. So if this ever happens and you put too much of the second color on, holy crap, this corner of my eye. You just go into the corner with your first color and then blend in the middle, those little circle motions. You'll see here it's a purple, and then right in this corner is the blue. And so that's kind of the gradient you want. Again, I would never wear this out. And so, but this also gives another example. If you get makeup all over your face, we call this, all this glitter and red right here, fallout. The glitter is going to be the most susceptible to fallout, but you know, mistakes happen. Just grab, where is my makeup remover? I need to grab my makeup remover. can't find my makeup remover, so we're gonna see if just water works. It probably won't. So what you're gonna wanna do, if you're smarter and more organized than your older sister, is grab some toilet paper, just a square, just pour a little bit of makeup remover right here. I'm gonna put water because I can't find mine, and then kind of get it into a decent tip like this, and then if this was makeup remover, it would work better. I'm gonna need to find that after this video, because I can't be wearing this to bed. That'll get all, oh, that's rule number 2. Never wear makeup to bed. That'll, no matter what, clog your pores and just generally not go well. You'll get color everywhere. So then, because I'm using water instead of actual makeup remover, I'm going over it with a dry tissue to kind of just get some of that now liquid makeup off. And you see, it doesn't look nearly as bad, but again, focus on the gradient that I'm trying to show here. This is not exactly a wearable look. This, however, very wearable. Rose gold and kind of that copper, very cute. Now, here's the final step if you kind of want to fancify it. I'll be right back. I forgot something. If I decide to post this on YouTube, that way you don't have to download this, I'm titling it, I Forgot Everything. But what you're going to want is your fluffy brush. Granted, this brush I have, super duper fluffy. I actually got it in another palette I ordered. It was a Urban Decay Naked palette, which definitely really high quality, but I actually like this Beauty Bay palette more. But anyways, the one you have is kind of like this, but yours is going to be angled and it's not quite as fluffy, but it'll do the trick. And so what you're going to want to do is go in and just right on the edge, the upper edge of here, just gentle windshield wiper motions, kind of right along the line. Don't do anything, don't bring it out, just right over it, a little bit under. And it kind of softens up that edge. It makes it look like the color is fading into your skin. If I do that over here, this one's a little harder because it's a lot brighter of a color, but you can still see it happening. It's still fading into the skin some and becoming a lot less jarring. And so that is the basics of blending, aka everything you need in life. And then all you gotta do is add some sort of lip color. You can probably just go with a lip gloss. I usually go for a lipstick just because, you know, why not? So, nude lipstick. It's clearly this like corally color. I got it off Wish. It's not expensive or anything. But then just doing that X will really highlight your Cupid's bow. Granted, I normally wear more makeup, like I do blush and stuff, but covering up this eye, you can see this is clearly missing mascara. I was like, what is happening? Yeah, so I'm not going to put mascara on the other eye because we know this is atrocious. As you're doing your mascara, especially as you're finishing it, you kind of want to do this wiggle motion because that'll get rid of clumps. Because the last thing you want is clumpy eyelashes. You want each lash to have as much individual definition as possible. And then, as you can see, a very nice, basic eyeshadow look. You can see it from a couple different angles, and it's got enough girly color that it's fun, but it's also really simple and wearable to, you know, just about everything. So that is honestly the easiest thing you can do, and if you want to practice that for like the next week or so, and then I can teach you some more advanced skills, but not super advanced, like we're doing this in baby steps, then have fun. Like I said, you can do this with literally any color. I recommend going with colors you're comfortable with at this point. So even though there's like yellows and oranges, do not try that before seminary. If you're gonna play with the yellows and oranges, play with it like in the evenings when you're not going anywhere, when you're just playing with makeup.